Engine 31, Medic 33, Med 2, Core 0.
Fire department,
Over
hello.
here, please, hurry.
Hey, what do we got going on today?
His name's Joe.
Joe, wake up. Joe.
Hey, Joe, can you hear me? I'm Scott with the fire department. Hey, Joe. Joe.
Wake up.
I'm not feeling a pulse. Let's go ahead and move this. I'm going to start CPR.
Joe, wake up. Joe, wake up. No, wake up. No.
So here's a simulation of a cardiac arrest call that we have at South Metro quite often. This paramedic right here is going in to assess the patient. He's got a team of, in this particular case, there's 6 crew members plus a EMS battalion chief, who's this individual right here. And we're trying to make access to the patient so we can perform life-saving measures.
Get you on compressions.
No, but I need to know what's
Perfect.
happening. Why?
I'm going to tell you right here.
He
Come
was
with me
just-
here.
Great. And we're going to do 30 to 2. Hey, Carter, can you get set up on the airway over there? I'll move this bag over there so you can just start ventilating.
Back here, we're already starting doing chest compressions on the individual. This is Scott in this case, and he's running the call. He's trying to figure out what we want to do, and he's managing this crew.
We'll get pads on.
This member here is the EMS battalion chief. He's dealing with the patient's wife in this case that has not only important information, but is also very concerned about what's happening to her husband.
Working on them.
Okay.
How are you related to Joe?
So I'm his wife.
Okay, so right here we're doing chest compressions. You might see here in just a moment, we're gonna take a pause. Right there, what's happening right there, we're pausing to see what the patient's heart is doing on our monitor. So with our cardiac monitor right there, we can see if the heart is fibrillating. A lot of times if somebody's normal function of their heart, it's squeezing like this, and every time it squeezes like that, it pumps blood with oxygen throughout the body. When somebody's heart goes into ventricular fibrillation, it starts quivering and it's not able to pump blood throughout. So we're trying to see if this is a good rhythm for us to deliver a shock.
All right, LT, can you get the metronome started? And we're going to do 30 to 2. Ready to roll? Pads are on. Let's go ahead and LT, could you pre-charge that monitor for
We
me?
were just eating breakfast.
I need to ask you a couple
Okay.
questions.
What?
Does he have any medical problems?
No, he just ran a marathon.
All right, everybody clear. We're going to do a pulse check and rhythm check. Hold your compressions. Pulse check, rhythm check.
Shocking.
Clear. I see VFib. Shock delivered. All right, let's resume CPR.
A lot of people ask, why aren't you leaving to go to the hospital? They sometimes are under the impression that as soon as we get there, do CPR, we should stop everything we're doing and load this person up and go to the hospital right away. Well, as I mentioned, we're trying to bring the emergency room into your living room. So we have equipment, we have procedures that they can do in the emergency room, but we can also do them right here faster right now. So I'm gonna just kind of explain what each person is doing here. We've got this gentleman down here, he's looking for access into the patient's veins. Normally, we typically like to do an IV with intravenous, but a lot of times in cardiac arrest, that's not possible. So we're actually able to go through the bone, and we do that down here on the leg, and he's doing that right now. And at the same time, we've got this firefighter right here. She's trying to gain access through an IV. So a lot of times we'll start these things at the same time, because if she's able to get it, maybe we don't have to do it there. We have a firefighter right here. He's doing chest compressions. The lieutenant on engine 31 is up at the top at the head. He's helping look at the monitor and see what rhythm the patient's in. We have this paramedic firefighter right there. He's actually squeezing the bag to deliver oxygen. Like I said, we have Scott here. He's the field instructor paramedic. He's calling out this scenario, basically like what a quarterback would do in a play. And then this firefighter here continues to do chest compressions. It's a team, just like football's a team. The only way we get good at this is if we practice over and over and over again. And we at South Metro, we do that. We train a tremendous amount, and we take this very seriously. And even though you may see, a couple different people on this crew and a couple different people from this crew, we all know what our job is once the call comes in, and we work like one cohesive unit.
30 to 2.
Yep.
And let's sync up with that metronome.
Has he ever had shortness of breath like that after a race?
Perfect. I'll get your airway roll set up. So we were in VFib, everybody. At our next rhythm check, you and Candy are gonna swap.
As you saw in the video, we have a team of 6 that's gonna come in. We're gonna assess the patient. We're gonna gently take over for you, get you to the side. We're gonna take over and start doing CPR, doing chest compressions, but then importantly, we're gonna see what your heart is doing. We're gonna see if we can shock it and get your heart out of that lethal rhythm that's so important for us to do. And then, not to mention the fact that when somebody's in cardiac arrest, they're not breathing. So we need to provide oxygen for them as well. So in the video, you saw the lieutenant and one of the paramedics at the patient's head. Well, they're trying to establish a definitive airway, basically to put a tube down somebody's trachea into their lungs so we can breathe and provide oxygen. And that's exactly what they're gonna do for them at the hospital. I've had the opportunity to do this job for over 25 years, and I don't think I've ever been on 2 calls that have been the same. You might get the same cardiac arrest or the same fall or person with difficulty breathing, but every scenario is a little bit different.
They're coming by right now.
You're gonna be okay, Joe. Joe, you're gonna be okay. You got this, just like yesterday, okay?
In the scenario that we just broke down, we need a lot of personnel just to get that person out into the medic unit en route to the hospital if that becomes the situation. You know, you saw we had a stairwell that we had to navigate. So not only are we carrying the person on a backboard up the stairwell, we're trying to keep them flat the whole time. So that means the person on bottom, I think you saw in the video, is essentially holding the patient like this up above their head. Well, keep in mind the patient is still unconscious and not breathing by themselves. They may have a pulse back, but we're still trying to squeeze the bag valve mask to provide oxygen while we're doing this. So, you know, whenever we're moving, it becomes more difficult, and we have to really coordinate that and work as a team as they did inside the kitchen initially when they were working on it. Every single call that we have is different, and that's why we found that if we can send more resources, it's going to be overall better for the patient. We could always cancel the resources we have, but we want to start them going early so we can handle the patient and it'll make the outcome better.
The doctors still have to work on him.
Okay.
He's still very, very sick.
Okay.
Try to be nice and steady. Make sure that heart keeps bumping on its own so we don't have to pump it for him. Okay. So that's the plan right now. Steven, we're gonna keep you and Candy, you're gonna drive. Carter, I'm gonna keep you on Airway too.
Why can't I come in the back?
I don't have seatbelts for you in the back.
Okay.
You need to have a seatbelt on, so I need to have you right up front.
Okay.
And Candy, we're gonna have you drive. We're gonna go emergent.
Are you good if I go up?
Yeah, you can go get settled up. Spouse is gonna be up front with you. She should be getting secured in by Chief right now. Perfect.
A lot of times, unfortunately, is we find that after we get the patient loaded and we're en route to the hospital, we don't have a pulse anymore. So if that happens, we have to have another person designated to do chest compressions. And that's fairly unsafe for us. You know, we get a little stressed out when we're having to do chest compressions on the way to the hospital because, well, you're in the back of the ambulance, you're moving around quite a bit, and depending on what the other drivers do, what the distance is, because we don't have, you know, a stable ground, and then we have interruptions in our chest compressions, which is what we don't want. Yeah, so if you're driving on the road and you hear you know, lights and sirens, you hear a fire truck, an ambulance coming up behind you, it's so important to slow down and pull to the right and let them pass. You never know what's going on in the back. A lot of times there's 3 or 4 people in the back of the medic unit or ambulance, and they're moving around. They're not necessarily strapped down in there. And they might be doing CPR. We have needles out oftentimes because we might need to get a second IV, or we might have had an issue where the IV came out and we have to do it again. So it can be dangerous for us. So we try to limit the amount of things that we are doing en route to the hospital while we're transporting.
Alrighty, and I'm gonna give another round of this cardiac epinephrine. FV 1 to 10. Perfect, and we're going to do that through the eye. This is South Metro Medic 31. We're coming emergent with a 50s male, CPR in progress. It was an unwitnessed arrest, VFib, VTAC arrest, shocked 3 times before getting ROSC. He is now re-arrested in a shockable rhythm, VTAC. We're currently doing CPR. He's intubated and will be at your facility in about 5 minutes. Do you have any questions?